I'm assuming that you guys have seen this too. This was a test piece. This was a test piece that we did for. It was kind of a pitch piece, honestly. It's actually, I think what's labeled here as. But we took this to Microsoft and Bungie and said, hey, instead of telling you guys we'd like to make an animated version of this, can we just show it to you? Like we'll just make a test piece and show it to you. So this is 4 minutes. It took us how long to make this? About 8 months? Yeah, 8 months. And we showed this at PAX 2008. This stuff is horribly expensive to produce, especially in comparison to machinima. But we had a lot of fun making it, and it's just one of those things where if we wanted to produce this on an ongoing basis, this would have to be a lot higher budget than our other productions, and so we would need to go to something like television or some other medium to do it. So it's just a much longer process of talking to people, showing it to them, and finding people who are interested in it. But for our productions, we still, for the stuff we do, we love producing stuff on the web. Matt and I met back in college. And the way we actually met was I was a computer science student, and Matt was a film student. And I wanted to get into film because I had switched to computer science from biology pre-med because I didn't want to be a doctor anymore. And I did that my senior year. So I think I graduated with like 190 hours of credit, which you might not translate to the Canadian education system, but that's like a degree and a half, essentially, is what I graduated with. But
when I was a freshman, Bernie had already been there for 4 years.
I think so. Yeah, and then we graduated together.
Yeah.
But I met Matt. I just put up a poster one day at the student TV station saying, "Hey, I want to make a movie." And
I misread it because I thought that you were looking for someone to help you learn computer science.
You thought I was hiring a pain?
I thought you were hiring.
So we made a 16mm movie together, and then he went off and you did the corporate thing too. You went off and worked in LA for how long?
Like 6, 7 years, something like that. Yeah.
And it's weird how little things like happen. Like the Rooster Teeth group is actually 2 groups of friends that came together. It was my friends Joel and Matt that we made a movie together in college.
Joel was in the movie.
Yeah, Joel was our lead actor. Yeah. Sorry, a lot of memories just came flooding down. I got a little dazed. And then Jeff and Gus were web guys that I worked with. We had a site called Drunk Gamers back during the everything and nothing days of media or online, when you had all these EN sites that were just random, like The Spark and Something Awful, and those were the big sites on the internet. And then we just kind of came up with the idea for Red vs. Blue, and then that became, video kind of took off from there. 2 years after we started Red vs. Blue, we started doing YouTube, and then stuff really took off. It's hard to imagine like the world even before YouTube in a way.
It's just like online video is such a part of our life now. It doesn't mean anything, but one of the big things with Red vs. Blue when we started was like there weren't really that many people putting out video online. And I remember when I was in LA, when I was in LA working, I was like just doing a kind of crummy managerial type job at a visual effects company, and there was one employee that I had that was always kind of a slacker and always just like online, just going to FARC or just kind of like knocking around, not doing work, and so I'd always have to check up on him. And one day I go in his, usually watching Homestar Runner, but one day I went into his cubicle, to be like, the office space, to do those TPS reports kind of guy. I had to be there, and he's watching on the monitor. I look, and there's Gus on the monitor, and I'm like, what the hell's this? How do you know that guy? I know that guy. You don't know Gus? What's going on here? And like it was like worlds colliding. I couldn't figure out why he had a video of Gus on his monitor, and then I started watching, and it was the Apple Switch ad, that Apple Switch parody ad that Bernie and
I don't have the video here, but I have this still from it.
It's probably on YouTube.
That's probably how big it was. Oh, I forgot him online. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, I'm sure Bernie wrote that, because it was like so his sensibility. And I called him about it. I was like, did you put this video out? And he said, yeah, but I only just put it out last night. So that was like a breakthrough kind of for us to like realize back in, what was that, 2001?
Bam.
Was it 2001? When was
that?
I
think that would have been, because Red vs. Blue 2002, so it would have been end of 2001, I think.
So, I mean, at the time, like, we had gone through hell of trying to make that movie and get a trailer.
Games on the PC was what?
That was, God, that guy, who's this guy, Pat Sissons, who uploaded this in 2007. He must have had this sitting around his hard drive or something. I guess he's an animator, maybe. I'm assuming all his content is his own. Of course, but Yeah, so that was kind of crazy because Matt and I had taken our film to schedule, and we had tried to take it around to distribution outlets, you know, and festivals and things like that. And we spent as long doing that as we did making the movie. And then we put this little stupid video online, and this, I think this is about twice as big as actually we could put online at that point in time. It would look more like that thumbnail. That it was a postage stamp size video.
And when we had made the trailer for a movie, which was like in 1998 or 99, something like that, it was still at that point where it's like, hey, I've got a video, I've got a trailer online. Okay, cool. How can I watch it? Well, just go to the website, and then you start downloading it, and like 35 minutes later, you're going to be able to watch this minute and a half thing. You know,
that's about this big.
Yeah, because download speeds, you know, back then was ridiculous. So at the point when this finally made it out, the parody thing, and we realized that Bernie could make something, you know, in Texas that could be seen by 1 million people the next day, including me in LA, without ever knowing that he was working on it. It's like, oh, we finally reached maturity with online video, and like this is actually something we can do. And Red vs. Blue was like just the next step after that.
I think what surprised us too is that not many people, even after we started doing it, it still took like a few years before it, like YouTube hit. That's what it took.
Was YouTube kind of getting off the ground, even though?
Yeah, and it's
adversarial relationship at the beginning with that.
And that's what's weird about it to me. To us, the hard part is making the thing, not putting it online in a way that people can watch it. You know, and that's what YouTube makes, I guess, easy on everybody else. But it doesn't make it any easier for you to actually make a video that people want to watch. That to us is the hard part.
Yep.
But the weird serendipity, coming to bring this all back around, is that the animated piece that we showed, this was done by a animation house in Florida. And the weird connection about it is, it's almost appropriate that it starts with the logo, is that we knew about this guy, and we knew about this animation house because he was a member of the forum. He's the guy that drew our logo, the Rooster Teeth logo.
Wow.
And it's just a weird thing how that works, is that we originally, for the first episodes of Red vs. Blue, we had a photograph of a metal rooster vein, right? Like a weather vane, and then a set of chomping teeth. And I just realized if we're going to put this on t-shirts, we can't just use photographs we found on the web somewhere. So I asked a guy to redraw it for us, and the reason I knew to ask him to redraw it for him is that he had a drawing of himself as his avatar on the forums. And I said, hey, did you draw this? He said, yeah. I said, do you want to draw our logo? And he paid us, I think we paid him $150 to draw the logo for us.
I think that was worth it.
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, for our corporate identity, he redrew it for us, and then 6 years later, we ended up hiring his company to do the animation. So it's just a weird, you never know what's going to lead to something, especially on the internet. As you know, meet people, it's just like, if he hadn't drawn his own avatar for our forum, I would never find out, and then we wouldn't have been able to work on this project together.